Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. This is day 16 in the 4 Bodies Challenge, and today I want to talk about emotions and the emotional body. So what we are focusing on, the thoughts that we're having, the conversations that we're having, the things that we're consuming, are creating our emotions. So there's this really, really strong link between our thoughts and our emotions. And our thoughts come down to the things that we're saying to ourselves, so our self-talk. But also a massive part of this is the conversations that we're having with other people. And this is where I want to direct the energy today and the focus today. I've been thinking a lot about relationships recently, and I think that they're such an important part of our emotional life, and they can bring us so much joy. They can be a portal to so much love, so much joy, so much positive emotion, but they can also take us in the opposite direction. And we can fall into patterns in our relationships and patterns in the conversations that we have with people. The thing I'd like you to think about today is, what are the questions that you are asking in your relationships? And you can also float this around in terms of, what questions do I ask myself? Because I think the questions that we're asking are directing the flow of energy. They're directing the way that the conversation goes, whether that be a conversation in our heads or a conversation with other people. And besides this, connection is one of the things that we all have in common, that we desire and that we need. And so being able to develop good conversation skills and being able to direct the flow of energy, the flow of focus in your relationships is so powerful for building deeper and more meaningful connections, which is ultimately what we all want. We all want to feel a connection with somebody, and also building that deeper connection within ourselves. And it also helps to direct the flow of energy in our relationships and in our conversations. And this is so powerful because a lot of the work that we do internally on our own thoughts and our beliefs and where we're putting our energy can so easily be thrown off track, so to speak, when we get into unconscious conversations with other people. So I want you to bring into your awareness over the next few days or the next few weeks what your conversations look like, and where the focus is in these conversations. Is the focus on the things that you want to create and the things that you want to feel? Is the intention behind the conversations that you're having positive? Is it moving you towards what you want? Because this doesn't mean that every conversation has to be positive, because difficult conversations are important. But what is the intention that's behind the conversation? Is it moving you towards what you desire? Is it moving you in the direction of your values and your goals? So recently I've been inspired with questions that I want to ask people, because I'm working on building deeper connections with people and just creating more of a social circle for myself, because I can very easily just spend a lot of time on my own, and I'm realizing the importance of actually building meaningful connections and conscious connections. So thinking about the kind of conversations that I actually want to be around, because the people that we spend the most time with are having such a huge impact on how we feel and how we show up and the direction that we're moving in. So it's really important to get clear on the types of relationships that you're having and who you're giving energy to. So for me, this has been a point of focus recently, to be conscious in the relationships that I'm giving energy to, and when I'm in that space with somebody, to be really conscious of the kind of conversations that we're having and the questions that I am asking, because that is how you create conversation. So I can take responsibility for the way that my relationships go and the things that we talk about through the questions that I ask. So today I have provided a PDF for you. You can download this and use it to change the way that your conversations are going, to change the energy in your relationships. And this could be a really fun practice to do with your partner, if you have a partner, or even a friend, just to get to know them on an even deeper level and get them thinking about how they can shift into more positive emotions or think about what it is that they want or express themselves better. Some of these questions are not necessarily easy to answer, but when you start to really think about answering them and dig deep, that's when you start to uncover things that maybe you didn't even know were there yourself. So this is about getting deeper into the layers of yourself as well. This is similar to when you sit down with your journal and you start to answer questions in your journal, but it's doing that with somebody else so that you can strengthen the connection between you and they can understand you better. Everybody wants to be understood, to be seen, to be loved for who they are, and to have that deep connection with another human being. It's an incredibly powerful thing. It has such a massive impact on our emotions, and this is why I wanted to incorporate this into the emotional body. So the practice today is simply to read through the questions that I have provided. You might even start to come up with some of your own. Recently, because I've set this intention, I've just had questions coming to me throughout the day that I think, oh, this is such a good question to ask somebody. This is something I really want to know. This is something that I would want somebody to know about me as well. And I think this is a good way of directing the conversation towards expressing what you want without being negative and being like, you're not doing this, because you're going to get a much more positive reaction if you're expressing what you want in a positive way and not in a kind of nagging, you're doing something wrong way. So I think this can be a really powerful practice in relationships. So read through the questions and then maybe start just playing around with them. This could be just throughout your day when you're meeting people, when you're chatting with friends or your partner or family members. It could be a practice, or not a practice, but more of a game with your partner on a Friday night, date night, sit down and play with some questions. And yeah, feel free to add your own and just have fun with it. Let me know how you found this. I hope that it helps you to cultivate more positive emotions for yourself and in your relationships and build deeper connections with the people that you care about. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me.